Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at some of the basics functions of Blender. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to take a solid object and start to kind of carve it up a bit. Like, for instance, if you have a wall and you want to have a doorway, you want to be able to make a hole for the door. Likewise, you want to make a hole for, say, a window. Or maybe it's just someone's knocked a hole in the wall for whatever reason. So we're going to show you how to do that. So first, use the scroll wheel to zoom in, press down on the scroll wheel and hold and rotate. Now, where it says Object Mode, click on Edit Mode. You can see it's highlighted in amber because everything is selected. Click A to deselect. Click B for box select. Left click, hold, drag, and let go. Now just the top is amber, so just the top is selected now. Now this is where we're going to talk about a function we haven't used in the other video, and that is we're going to add vertices and edges and facings. So if you do Control R, it's a little hard to see, but there's a pink line going across the middle. So if you move it to the left, it's much easier to see that you've got the pink line horizontal. If you move it down, you can see it's vertical. So it all depends what you want. We're going to do both, so we're going to do one at a time. So if you scroll the scroll wheel up, okay, it now creates a second one. And that's good enough for now because we're not going to do anything really high detailed. Click Enter. Be careful, don't move, because that just selected how many you want. If you move the mouse, they will move, and we don't want to move them. If you want to move it, go ahead and move the mouse. But here, we're going to keep it centered. So click one more time, enter one more time. And now you can see there's lines here. You've added vertices. You've split up the facings. Now we're going to do that one more time. So click A to deselect. Again, click B for box select. Left click, hold, select, let go. And again, Control R. And it's showing up in the right direction. Scroll up one so there's two again. Click Enter, and then Enter again. And now what you've done, you can press down on the wheel, the scroll wheel, and rotate around. You've taken something that was one facing on each side, and now there are multiple facings on each side. The top has 9, the other sides have 3. We didn't need them to have all the facings. It's just the front that we needed to slice up more. Okay, so what we're going to do now, click A again to deselect. What we're going to do is we're going to start cutting this up. So if you left click that corner, hold Shift and click that corner, hold Shift, click that corner, hold Shift, click that corner, and then go ahead and click Delete. And you get several options. Go ahead, click Delete Faces. Okay, so now you have a hole. Let's do that again. So click that corner, Shift, click, click, click. So those are just left clicks. Delete faces. Now let's go ahead and delete the bottom as well. So click, click, again holding Shift, click, click, delete faces. Inside, click Shift, click, 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 click. So again, it's just holding Shift and left clicking. Delete faces. So now you have a wall with a doorway, but you can see it's hollow. Now, if you want to get technical, walls are hollow, but you shouldn't be able to see them like that. You should have an extra facing. So what we did is we deleted the facings that we don't want. Now we have to create the facings that we do want. So what you're going to do is you click on the corners, and then you click on, you're going to click on basically the corners that surround where you want there to be a facing. And so that's going to be the new function. We just deleted a facing. Now we're going to add one. So let's see if we can do this in one shot. So we're going to do click without a shift, but then shift click. Click. Oops, sorry. Let's try that again. Zoom in a little bit. So shift, click, click, click. All right, so those are all selected. So to create a facing, it's just the letter F. There you go. So let's do that again. Click here. Shift click, 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 F. We created a facing. And now it's just rinse and repeat. So click, shift, click, 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 F, facing. So it is possible to do more at once than what I'm doing, but again, we learn through repetition. So this one's a little bit harder to get at. So click, shift, click, 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 again, holding shift, F, facing. Now almost done. So click, shift, click, 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 F. And there you go. You have now created a wall with a doorway or a passageway. So now you just want to shrink this as far as the vertical because it's probably way too deep. So go from edit mode to object mode. The object is selected. Click S for scale. Click Z because remember again, unlike Unity, for some reason in Blender Z is up, whereas in Unity Y is up. And then you just move this down. Enter. And there you go. You have created a wall with a doorway. So if you don't want this dead center, you certainly can move it over. And if you wanted a window, it would be exactly the same thing. It's just that whereas we added 2 partitions horizontally and 2 partitions vertically, you'd have added more. That way you could carve out a window if you really wanted to. But it's that easy to create a wall with a doorway. So, if we wanted to say add a window, let's A to deselect, come back down to object mode, go to edit, A to deselect. Let's go to the next to edit mode. You should see this orb. We'll click on wireframe. That way it's easier to grab everything. And I'm just rotating around to try to get an advantageous angle. There we go. So B for box select, left click, drag, and now I've grabbed all those. Take this left and just move that out. And then enter. Well, actually, you don't have to do enter. Hit A, though, to break, to deselect. So now we said we're going to create a window. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some more partitions up here. So let's go back to, in the lower left corner here, go back to solid. B, left click, select. Let's not grab the bottom there, so let's rotate around a bit. A, let's do that again. B, left click, select. So I'm trying to avoid grabbing anything else. So let's just rotate it a little bit like. No, actually, let's leave it like that. Because I'm pretty sure that won't make a difference. Okay, so again, it was Control R, and you can see that partition appeared. Scroll up, scroll up. So this time I'm going to make 3. Enter. And like I said, if you slide this around, you can move them. So we'll click Enter. Now, A to deselect, B, left click. Let's select everything again. R to create that oops, sorry. Control R, my apologies, to create that partition. But this time we don't want it to be vertical, so move it so it's horizontal. We'll scroll up. I think that will give us what we need because we can do, yeah, that looks good. So click Enter, Enter. So now we're going to create the window right here. So A to deselect. Come down here, next to Edit Mode, go back to Wireframe. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click here, Shift click. Oops, let's scroll in a little bit. A little bit harder to see because of all the extra vertices. All right, so I shift clicked all those. Delete, gonna delete faces. Now, let's go back in the lower left corner here to solid, see how that looks. Okay, so you've deleted the front. So click. Let's just rotate this around. Shift click, shift click, shift click. So I hold the shift the whole time. Delete faces, and now you have a hole straight through. And so now it's just the same thing. You need to create those facings. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. So click, shift, click, 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 and then just F, and you created a facing. And just have to rinse and repeat. So click, shift, click, 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 F, created that facing. So as you can see, this is a very powerful tool where you can just start creating facings, and you'll do that an awful lot when it really comes to sculpting. So click, shift, click, 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 F for facing, click, shift, click, shift, click, click, and then F for facing, and there you go. Not perfect, the window's kind of small, but again, it all depends exactly what you're trying to do. Like for instance, if say this is like a subterranean apartment where part of the apartment is underground, then you would have a small window like that. So that's about it. That's how you make your wall with passageways through it for like a doorway, for a window, whatever else. Like I said, you could make a hole in the wall because something has hit it and broke it. And the final step is really just to export this. So File, Export, FBX. It defaults to my 3D Objects folder. Going to call it Door Wall. The reason why it already says that is because I did a test of this earlier. So we'll do Export FBX. And now we just go to Unity. We go to that folder. We take Door Wall, drop it in, drag it into our scene, and now we just rotate it a bit. So let's see, rotate it that way. Click on Main Camera. So we need to rotate it this way. And there you go. Does it look impressive? No, but it's not meant to. Again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you how to make primitives That way you can make a mock-up, you can do your prototyping, you can do your basically your proof of concept, and then at that point you can then reach out to development community as far as making your permanent production assets. This way you can make some of your own for your prototyping. Okay, so that should about do it.